Hey everyone, welcome to Small Company, Big Brand. I'm Brenda, and here, as always, is Benny Fluman. Today, we're tackling the big question. How can a small B2B company punch above its weight and build a brand that actually matters, even across international markets? Benny, there's so much noise out there. People thinking they need a marketing department with 12 people and $1 million ad budget to even start.
Right? Is the classic mistake. Everyone thinks, oh, branding, that's stuff for Coca-Cola, right? But actually, the frameworks exist for companies of any size. And honestly, sometimes they work even better for smaller teams. I love starting with the brand identity prism. If you don't know this model, grab a napkin, 6 points, perfect for CEOs to audit their brand. You've got physique, personality, culture, relationship, reflection, and self-image. Simple as that.
Yeah, I always describe the prism as a kind of checklist. Like, no matter how busy you are, just stop and ask, does my logo genuinely reflect my values? Or does it just look cool? Is the tone of our emails matching how we interact with clients on a call? And I mean, not just the what, but the why. That's where Simon Sinek's golden circle blows my mind every single time.
Of course, Sinek is, I want to say, almost cliche at this point. But if people only ever heard one piece of advice, start with why. Why does your company even exist? Like, are you here just to sell another app? Or are you in this because you believe in changing something about your customers' lives? That's the secret sauce if you want real, worldwide resonance.
Exactly. I remember working with an Israeli agritech startup, one of those classic, just sell the seeds companies, right? They had great products, but until they started telling their story around fighting food insecurity in difficult climates, it was just seeds. But once we worked through their golden circle, suddenly, they had a movement. Their whole brand voice transformed overnight because they knew their why. Honestly, I get chills thinking about it.
You just can't fake that stuff. If you don't know your why, your customers will smell it in 5 seconds. And especially abroad, they want a partner, not a product pitch. So before we even touch a logo or website, gotta check those frameworks. 6 points, 3 circles, 1 bigger purpose, right?
So here's where leaders usually panic. Sounds great, but wait, how do I do any of this without 2 extra people on payroll? That's the real-world rub. But Benny, you and I both know it's about being smart with who does what, not just spending more.
I think a lot of companies get stuck thinking marketing is one full-time job. Actually, when you're lean, you divide and conquer. CEO, your job is the story, the tone, the vision. Sales, every deck, every email, reflect that same story. Got a junior employee? Let them handle your visuals. Canva, it's not just for interns who want to be Instagram famous. For $15, you can look as sharp as the big guys.
You took the words right out of my mouth. And the tools. I mean, we've seen actual small companies, let's call them Soft Connect just so nobody gets shy, launch an English Wix website, 3 targeted LinkedIn campaigns, and AI content brainstorming under $5,000. They literally tripled their qualified US leads by just being consistent and clear. No magic, no secret agents, just picking the right channels and not overcomplicating it.
Okay, confession time, Brenda. I once tried to give branding to my brother-in-law. Real story. I thought, he's creative. He can design a logo for free. Total disaster. It looked like a pizza place. I thought I was saving money, but wow, the day I discovered LinkedIn and Canva, it's like I could build a grown-up brand without begging anyone's cousin for Photoshop. Lesson learned. Don't go for the shortcut. Go for the tools and process that work, even on a shoestring budget.
That's classic. And there's so much power in just keeping it simple. Share 1 meaningful post a week. Send a newsletter to your 50 favorite clients. Make sure your proposals and decks all tell the same story. Most companies are sitting on gold if they just package what they already have. You don't need a $20,000 video series. Just start telling your story, which brings us right to the real work. Consistency. It's not a one-off sprint. If you're not keeping your story straight across every touch point, customers get confused. And confused, well, customers just walk. Employees need to become your brand's megaphone, not its echo chamber. That means sales, customer support, even R&D, all on the same message.
Totally. And you want examples? Israeli companies are case studies on steroids. Take IceCure Medical. They didn't build on Twitter buzz or flashy PR. They went slow, clinical, international. Every piece of brand content linked back to hard medical data. Regulatory wins. That's what their audience, hospitals, needed to hear. And it paid off. They cracked tough US and Japanese markets where trust is everything.
Exactly. And then there's TIPA. I love the purity of their message. End plastic waste. Simple, global, but always localized. In Germany, they leaned into regulatory stories. In France, it was all about sustainability. They were able to get into partnership discussions with giants like Nestle by being consistent and tailoring, not changing their core message.
But it's not all happy endings. Lusix, for example, great tech in synthetic diamonds, but honestly, they missed the emotional play. De Beers sells love, right? Lusix was pushing luxury tech. Way too cold. Customers didn't connect. Or InnovaPro with the chickpea protein. They stayed generic, while everyone else turned healthy eating into lifestyle. No passion, no punch.
And Sabra, huge hummus brand in the US, right? They stuck with authentic while everyone else was experimenting with flavors. The market moved, they didn't. Result? Market share? Gone. The thread here is simple. A brand identity must be sharp, but also adaptable. Don't betray your DNA, but don't ignore the reality around you either.
At the end of the day, you want a tomorrow action list? Write a one-pager. Logo, tagline, 3 values, mission. Make it visible everywhere. Website, LinkedIn, sales decks. Get everyone to post once a week on LinkedIn as a team. Even if it's just to 50 people, it's about rhythm, not audience size. That's literally how things get moving.
Speaking of adaptation, let's talk about going global in more than just language. Understanding local culture is non-negotiable. And you don't need a full research arm. Just do a few informal interviews. Check out the competition. See which symbols or stories pop up over and over. Honestly, a coffee chat with a potential partner teaches more than any 50-page report, right?
Oh, totally. And building local partnerships is where the magic really happens. Don't just call the distributor. Talk to actual end users. Or better, get a local influencer, someone people trust, to introduce you. Israelis do this well when they remember to listen more than talk. If you just blast out messages from Tel Aviv, people feel the distance. But a local voice closes that gap fast.
And the feedback loop. It's so important. Don't just assume your brilliant why lands everywhere the same way. Regular check-ins with local partners or customers aren't a chore. They're a goldmine. They'll tell you what isn't connecting or what's accidentally offensive. Use it. Tweak your messaging. Keep evolving. But stay true to your core.
Yeah, and honestly, international success is mostly about humility. Stay curious. Ask, adapt, repeat. That's how small companies can look and feel big in any market without losing their soul. And it's much faster to iterate now thanks to digital channels. You post, you listen, you adjust. The tools are all there. You just need to use them smartly.
Couldn't agree more. So if you're a CEO or founder listening, don't wait for the big budget or perfect team. Grab these frameworks, lean into your story, and get started. Remember, every market wants authenticity and relevance. And Benny, I think next time we have to go even deeper on LinkedIn tactics. There's a lot left to cover.
That's a deal, Brenda. If you're out there and still feeling small, just remember, it's not about your size. It's about how and why you show up. Thanks for listening and sharing this journey with us. See you next time, Brenda.
Thanks, Benny. Thanks, everyone, for joining Small Company, Big Brand. Take care and keep those questions coming.